there's no wrong or right way to be successful in the entertainment industry. I think there's so many different paths and journeys to success and to making it to where you want to go. And I think I've learned that very well because, a lot of people will say, you can't start doing music, you can't start acting because you started on social media. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's really important to me because I really like to be an example of growth.
Once in a blue moon, an artist is able to create something so special that it erases your preconceived notions of them. And let me tell you, I must be having I must be having an Addison autumn because there is something so irresistible about Diet Pepsi. I cannot listen to anything else. It wouldn't feel right. It does not, nothing gives me the magical feeling that Diet Pepsi does. And this is coming from someone who doesn't even like soda. Okay. I hate carbonation. This track has unequivocally got its hold. It's got its teeth. It's got me in clutch. Look at my on repeats. And I think we have to give Addison Rae some flowers because I'm not going to lie, I did not see that coming. I don't think many people saw that coming, and that's what makes it so great. C XOXO by Camila Cabello has also hit me like a freight train, but an enjoyable one. It's a resurgence of that feral, risk-taking, yet self-assured, girly pop music. And wow, I am so here for all of it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kate. I love music, and so can you. Honestly, as soon as Addison Rae let out the scream on the Von Dutch remix, I knew it was time to start zooming in. But in all seriousness, I do think what she's released already is there's some great pop music in there, okay? Some people give her flack that, nothing on but the radio was originally written for Gaga. But if you look into Addison and the references she's using, that makes a lot of sense. As someone who is clearly a big fan of Lady Gaga herself, also, it's a great pop song. Who cares how it got to where it is today? I'm just happy it's out in the world. I know people also love To Die For, which is it's a cool jam. It's not my favorite out of what Addison, Diet Pepsi is clearly the superior, it's the track, right? Am I right? I know I'm right on that one. But a lot of people love To Die For, and it's cool. I think it has that same chill, minimalistic bopability that 360 by Charli has. I Got It Bad. And the unspoken hero of the AR EP is It Could Have Been You. So fun, so playful. It's just catchy. It's catchy and great and light and with a little bit of spice. I think most of the initial criticism that Addison gets is that she's coming from a different industry. People might not feel like she deserves to be where she is, but I think we shouldn't be surprised that we see influencers kind of make the track to musician or vice versa. I don't see what's different from becoming a dancer and then transitioning to music, or becoming an actor and then transitioning to music. It's tale as old as time. It's just a new medium. And Diet Pepsi really stands out because this song transcends any barriers or thoughts about Addison Rae you might have. At least for me, it's such a good pop song. Holy moly. I feel very similar to this single of Addison Rae's as I do with Troye Sivan's initial EP, like TRXE, Trixie. Those real ones know when Happy Little Pill came out, all that good stuff. Before Blue Neighborhood. There's been many TikTokers who have made music and released but have not had the same impact. I think in the same way that Troye Sivan was really, I feel like, the first pop artist to transcend his initial medium of YouTube. Addison Rae is starting to lapse herself in terms of what she's capable in the realm of pop music. It seems like a lot of people are giving her flack over her VMAs look, but I think it's really smart. It feels like exaggerated, flirty, fun femininity, which I feel like this new era, or maybe a continuation or a further development of Addison's brand thus far is trying to communicate. And it creates discussion. So it's aligned and it's also clickable, which is important for anyone who's kind of new on the scene and maybe hasn't earned the level of credibility in a new medium. One of the things I really admire about Addison Rae is that she's clearly done her homework. She is crafting a narrative right now. Babes calls the paparazzi on herself, and she uses it to her full advantage. Here we have her reading the Britney Spears book. She's doing old school fame. She's referencing Lady Gaga. She's referencing Britney. She's referencing Lana. She's got a bubbly personality that brings a light, refreshing, fun side to pop music that needs to be there. I personally was so for kind of this dark and brooding sound that came from artists like Lorde, from artists like Lana, from artists like Billie Eilish coming onto the scene. But this feels so great. I feel like her and Sabrina Carpenter are doing so great because there is a need for that right now. In dark times, light matters. I didn't even know this, but it's rumored that Addison might be behind her own leaks. And that's taking from the playbook of Lady Gaga, who did the same because her label or whatever didn't think that the songs that she believed in most should be singles. And what do we see? We see To Die For kind of hallmarking a shift in how people are perceiving Addison, at least in relation to her music. She's got this underdog angle, and she's also at a really unique position where she's holding the light after recession, you know, even if we don't want to call it a recession. I think we're in a very similar era where we need some poptimism. And interestingly enough, she's kind of recreating that, right? She's posting on Tumblr. She's using sepia filters. There's this nostalgic party careless beauty that she's bringing. And shout out to Charli XCX for bringing credibility. I talk about this in the Charli video, but girl is nothing if not a curator. And her power and influence and decision to bring people up cannot be understated. She is your favorite reference baby. All roads lead to Charli at some point this year. And while it differentiates itself for sure, I think she definitely helped lay the foundation for C XOXO by Camila Cabello to rock my world.
Trying the cringy idea and trying the cringy title to get to the tasty words that I like this really needs to be, all me. And I think as I've gotten older and older, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to listen to myself. I'm comfortable, doing the writing by myself on this album. I'm comfortable being like, it's on me today.
Let me tell you, this is the first time I've been so interested in Camila Cabello's work that I've wanted to listen to the album. And I have listened to C XOXO from front to back. I did not have that level of investment before whatsoever. I love it. I know that's a hot take, but I do. It's great. June Gloom, Chanel No. 5, Dade County Dreaming, B.O.A.T. And I really, really appreciate the commitment to the bit and the full circle moment that comes with both the auditory and visual experience of Godspeed. Before I talk about anything about this album, we have to talk about the Wolf performance. Okay, Apple Music. This is kind of an aside, but please go watch it. It's incredible. I love this idea of kind of subverting who the pop star is. You can't tell who's actually singing until the end of the performance, and it feels fun and cheeky. I love it when people take risks. Performance-wise, it feels very thoughtful. And the same could be said about the June Gloom to Godspeed performance at the VMAs this year. Everyone was, making noise about Camila dyeing her hair, but wow, does it service the narrative? And you've got to respect the commitment it takes to really shift up your whole physical sense of self to better serve your art. I definitely think that paid off. If you feel lost, I feel like if you listen to June Gloom and then listen to Godspeed, you'll kind of understand the bookends and the significance of the hair change. I can now go back into Camila Cabello's discography and see seedlings of this album and, what I perceive as a desire for some level of experimentation. But I definitely wouldn't have done that before because I didn't find her music as interesting as I do now. At the very least, for both Addison Rae and Camila Cabello, even if you don't like the art, you have to give some points for the assumption of risk. I talk about this in the Charli video, but I think great art is made when it's made for someone, and because of that, it's made not for others. If you have too many cooks in the kitchen, the food ends up being bland or completely overwhelming. These projects, these songs have a voice. But being able to curate that perspective is hard, especially when you don't have a super clear established brand identity, which I feel like these artists kind of have in common, right? They have some level of mainstream exposure, but at least from my perception, I'm not where they lie on that spectrum. In Addison's case, she took a lot of risk in putting herself out there, going to improve and improving immensely after all of the ridicule that came from Obsessed. And for Camila, going from a mainstream, fairly squeaky clean image and sound to making something a bit more experimental and seemingly more authentic is no small feat. I love the production of this album. I love how vulnerable the lyrics are. Some of the songs feel so personal, you almost feel intrusive, which I think is great. And both artists, as I interpret, are crafting a space for a more holistic view of what it means to be someone who's femme presenting and not perfect, but is trying their best and has desires and dreams and all of those good things. And if you don't buy into that pretension, they're just bops. It's great pop music, and with worlds to come with it. They make me want to get better at creating spaces and moods and feelings and colors and everything else behind my music. And I think that's a trademark of great art. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's to come. Delicious, delightful, would listen again. What did you think of C XOXO? What do you think of Diet Pepsi? What do you think of AR? What do you think about the new future releases? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.